stolz gemacht, mein Sohn.
What's up guys, Full Hearted here. Welcome back to another video. Yes, I've been on hiatus, but life, Anyway, back on this one, and I actually realized a while ago that I've never actually done a proper review for the game, for Naruto Online. So I've been thinking to myself, I should make one, but it can't exactly be an actual review now, can it? Now, like a first look or anything like that. So it's gonna be more like a post review, so a post look. So it's more like from the perspective of somebody who actually plays the game for a while, to the point where I played it, I stopped playing, and then I came back. Right, so it's just kind of that perspective. Now the game has a few pros and quite its cons as well, but let's let the game speak for itself and speak for what it is and what it isn't, you know what I mean? So on its pros, now it's very easy to get into. Like, it's one of those games where it's super easy to get into. Actually, before I carry on, I just want to make sure the people I'm actually targeting for this, because I got a message a while ago. People were actually telling me, like, they're asking me very beginner questions on the game, how to play and so forth. So I just thought this might sort of appeal to them and kind of work for them. It's going to be mainly based on how I view the game right now personally, right? So keep that in mind. That's just a disclaimer. It's just a personal look and review on what the game is, you know what I mean? So for pros, again, so it's easy to get into, super easy, like a browser game. It's one of those things where you can basically play it from wherever the hell you are, you know what I mean? So nothing too worrisome about that. It's not a big download, nothing at all. You might just get the mini client, which actually works far better than the actual browser itself. Now, for a browser game, let's be honest, I want to be honest with you guys, it actually doesn't feel so much like a browser game, in my opinion, because this is what games used to be like. Like, I remember playing games that were kind of in this format a while ago. I mean, this is one of the most well done browser games I've ever seen, to the point where I myself forget it's a browser game sometimes, especially when I play through the mini client. So that's definitely a pro. And then familiarity. If you guys are familiar with the Naruto series, especially if you're brand new to the game and came from the series, or just were trying to look for something, or tapped in Naruto Online, play a game because you've never played a game like that before, and you landed on this video, then this is like familiar wise. It's super familiar. It brings back a lot of nostalgia if you've been watching the series, if you're still watching the series, to be honest. So that's great. It's perfect for you guys. And then it has a fair enough free to play model. By that I mean it's actually very good in terms of PvP. It's PvP, which is basically what the free to play versus pay to play. I won't say pay to win, so it's just pay to play. That's the real difference right there. So it's so fair. Like, the free to play model is basically you could play the entire game 100% for free. But you have to, there's a lot of things that happen in the background that you're going to have to understand and sort of accept with this. This means that you can't have every single ninja. You can't have all the good ninjas. You can have really good ninjas that are free, for example. Like Toby's free. So Toby's super free. He's a really good ninja right now. And having him is just, he's a staple to a lot of teams. You know what I mean? Just having him is really good. So ninjas like that. So strong independent ninjas, you get those. And then you get, for like right now in the Kage treasures, there's a lot of really good ninjas, and they're not even super rare or hard to get. So if you've saved up all your seal scrolls, you can get really good ninjas absolutely free. So it's 100% really good free to play model. There's very few things you have to pay for. The only real things that are kind of, which is a con, is what I would call the shitty paywall events. So these are events that come out necessarily, like, they're not necessarily bad, but the thing is, every event that comes out is generally meant to sort of make you dig into your pockets. So they always release something that's meant to encourage you to pay or pay up, which I don't mind paying up. I just don't want to do it for these freaking events, which also brings me to another con. they have no costumes or no real costumes. I know these that they still adding more costumes. They only have one right now, which is the cowboy costume, and there's going to be more costumes in future, but those are not real costumes in my opinions, because they still have stats. I don't think costumes should have stats. See, I don't mind giving the game money. The problem is, if like, if you guys had cosmetics, like really good cosmetics, so you could customize your characters, like with clothes or whatever, outfits, that was just outfits, it wasn't a stat based item, so it was just an outfit, a swimsuit or whatever, you know what I mean? So all these outfits for whatever particular dollar amount, that is great. That would get a lot of support, but the way they're doing it right now with stats on costumes, I just don't understand. So that's definitely a con in my book, you know what I mean? So another pro would definitely be every main character is actually fun to play, right? So there's no, I haven't seen a main character who wasn't fun to play. They're all really, really good, and all have super different play styles, and it's actually amazing. It's actually hard to pull off, and to be honest, they did this absolutely well. Now, some characters are better than others depending on the ninjas you have, so you have to keep that in mind. So that's just one of the things going in, you have to just keep in mind. All right, so another pro, this is one of the best ones in my opinion. The game is so simple, yet it provides enough depth for anybody looking for more than just face value entertainment, you know what I mean? So it gives enough for the hardcore community, so quote unquote, right, for them to have something to, to grab on, something to gnaw on, just just bite on for a little while, just keep them busy, you know what I mean? It's pretty good. It has a lot of depth to it. There's a lot to learn about it, which is great, and you know what I mean? So there's a lot about it. And then here's the only other problem I have about this, like with all this depth, right? With all this depth and so many ways to do things, so many ninjas available, a con in my book is just some ninjas are just plain useless. Now, I'm not gonna get into specifics of which ninjas, how, but everybody knows. If you haven't played the game before, you wouldn't know this early on, because everybody's fine early on. But even early on, you're gonna notice that some ninjas are just not that great to put on your team, right? Effectively making some ninjas useless. I don't like this weird gap between some of these ninjas. It's actually it's demoralizing, but at the same time, I kind of understand how it is, even in the actual series itself. I mean, for example, you can't have Ino stronger than, let's say, May, for example, you know what I mean? That doesn't actually make sense, So I understand where they're coming from, but I would like there to be some sort of leeway, so not all the ninjas go into the dust, you know what I mean? So they're not all like last week's newspaper, so they can all be reused at some point, which is what Ninja Exam is for, which is one of the systems they have in the game if you haven't played the game. But I'm getting off track. Point is, there's a lot of PvP. A ninja system is PvE, so a lot of that involved as well. Great designs. Everything is pretty good. Like, speaking of Ninja Exams, for example, it's one of the more challenging of the PvE events they have, and it provides a constant source of entertainment, frustration, a bit of both, right? I have a video about one of those a while back. Since then, I've actually past those levels up to 114 or whatever. But anyway, let's get back to this review. So now there is one thing as well which I couldn't decide whether this was a pro or a con. I don't understand, to be honest. So I made this both. So it's both a pro and a con about this game. So the thing about this game is that it's basically a collector game. So you collect, in this case, you collect ninjas, and then you use the strong ninjas in a auto based combat, but it's a manual, there's manual combat to it as well. So you use that to sort of just play, you know what I mean? You just play, that's it, you just play. The part I hate the most and it makes sense as well. But at the same time, I'm like, what's the point? Why do we even have this? Is the RNG systems. Now, this is very heavily when it comes to getting ninjas. So the recruit function on getting ninjas is a function where, I mean, it's available in a lot of games. A lot of games see this kind of thing, but a lot of browser games anyway. So to get better ninjas, you have to roll a dice essentially. So you may or may not get ninjas. So what takes one person 10 seal scrolls to get a good ninja would take another person 20 seal scrolls to get a ninja, or 40, 100, you know what I mean? So it's super RNG based, and that can get really frustrating really fast. But at the same time, if you have very limited seal scrolls, that can also get really frustrating. But it all works out in the end, because there is a small chance that you might get really good ninjas out of like a 10 pack or a 20 pack, you know what I mean? Something small. So it works. It's both a pro and a con. It works out either way. Now, I don't know how to feel about it. I hate it, but some people love it, and it provides entertainment in one way or another. It does encourage people spending, even though it's not really that smart to do it that way, because in the game you just generally want more power over and more ninjas. But it is what it is. And then a big pro, obviously, this game actually has a lot of regular updates and a lot of bug fixes. This is something very important. Not a lot of browser games get bug fixes. Like some legit, the bugs stay broken for a long time. Let's be realistic here. So you got to give it up for that one. Give credit where credit is due. So I mean, that's just in a nutshell. But I feel like that's the review overall. But it sort of doesn't give you a sense of what the game is, you know what I mean? So I've been saying some stuff. If you guys haven't played the game before, you probably don't understand some of the terminology I've been using. But it is necessary. So if you are watching this and you did sort of want to play the game, or you are starting to play the game out right now, so you're playing the game right now, it's just that you're a beginner, you don't know what's going on, and you just kind of want to get a sense of, is the game worth playing further? Or if you haven't played it before, is the game worth playing at all? In my opinion, I say give it a try. Go ahead, you know what I mean? There's no shame. Just give it a try. There's no harm. It's free. It's whatever. Jump in. Why not? Now, as a person who's been playing this game for a while now, I do want to urge you on something. I just want to keep you guys on your toes for a second here. Don't play this game expecting to be number one, or to be the best, or to be the best ninja, or like you want to be a Kage, or no. Just play the game for what the game is. Just have fun. It doesn't matter if you number one, you're in the top 10, you're in the top 20, in the top 100. Doesn't matter where you are. The game isn't about coming in here trying to be the best. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. You're never going to be the best. There's never, ever, you're never going to be the best. In any game where you have people who can legit pay out their ass, you're never going to be number one. Now, not to say that the game is pay to win. No. Not by a long shot. Because pay to win in this game, what does that really mean? It means you paying to jump over these weird walls. We're going to call them power walls. I'm going to call them... I think it's both a power and a pay wall at the same time. It's a weird wall. But generally, it's... To be... You know what? I'm not doing that justice. What those walls are actually time walls. They basically meant to slow you from completing the entire thing, right? So it's time. That's basically what you could pay to jump. This is what I mean. I'm gonna use one of the systems in the game to explain my thought process here. So what happens is you have a system called battle armor in the game. So what battle armor is a system basically that it will increase your power overall, and it will increase all your stats overall. right? But if you have normal battle armor, what happens is you would only be able to upgrade your battle armor up to, say, there's 3 ranks. So there's 10 ranks, my bad. So there's 10 ranks. So if you play a normal and you're like a normal person, you would generally only be able to upgrade up to rank 3 normally, you know what I mean? Without paying, without taking out a dime from your pocket, you'd be able to upgrade to rank 3 fairly easily. It would take you about maybe a month or so, maybe a bit less than that, a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? Then you could get to rank 3. Now the difference between rank 3 and rank 4 is really huge. There's no way you could get that amount from rank 3 to rank 4 in a month or so. That gap alone would take you 3 to 4 months to cover. That's how much time is worth between rank 3 and rank 4. That's how much time that would take you to get past that hump. Maybe even more than 3 to 5 months. It could take you 6 months, to be honest with you, because that's a really big gap, because that's how much it starts costing. Also, there's RNG in between, because there's a proc system where as you level up that stuff. And by the way, when I'm saying this, when I'm talking about 3 to whatever months, that's because you're not buying any materials, right? So you have your coupons, but you can't put all your coupons into battle armor, for example. Very limited amount, especially as a free player, for example. So you wouldn't be buying all the way, so you'd be using just events to get that kind of stuff, and that takes a long time. So that would take you 3 months plus to do that stuff. And as I was saying, when you ranking when you increasing in rank, the RNG is there. It could proc early, it could proc at the very last one, who knows. So that's the other part of RNG you have to hate as well. That's what I mean. So the only pay to win aspect of the game is paying to jump over that time wall. So you would eventually get to rank 4. It just would take you a while. So instead they pay and then they jump the time wall, and then they pay again to jump the wall after that. So effectively making them way stronger than you are. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with those guys. It's fine. I have no problems with people paying, in my opinion. I've never had an issue with this, right? One thing people have to understand, when you have people who pay, it's fine. They're in a world of their own. You don't have to compete with them. In fact, it's pretty dumb to try to compete with them. Say on your server, the top 10 people pay out the ass for some stupid reason. They have like 60k power or more, right? So they have 60k power for some, God knows why. They have 60k power or more, whatever. You don't have to think about those guys. Just ignore them. They're not in your range. Just play with everybody else, right? From number 11 downwards. The number 11 is your personal number 1. Put it that way. So play with the people you can compete with. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that it helps you out, because the game is supposed to be fun. It stays fun for you. Don't try to overdo it. Don't feel like you have to declare bankruptcy to keep playing. No, you don't. Play the game for what it is. Don't go too crazy. You know what I mean? And guys, I'm sorry if I'm spending a little too much time on the cash aspect, the money aspect, the so-called pay to play, pay to win, hashtag got no life aspect of the game. The reason I'm spending so much on this is because people don't understand the difference, and it's just one of those topics that just keeps coming up over and over and over, and I'm sorry, we just have to address it some way. You know what I mean? And I feel like it actually should be part of the review. A review should entail this, and by length, mind you, because guys, let's be honest, almost every single browser game is absolutely freaking pay to win. You know exactly what you're getting into when you play a lot of browser games. I just want to say this one is a tad bit different. Yes, pay to win aspect, pay to play. In this case, I would say it's mostly pay to play. because pay to win is a bit different. Because technically speaking, well, let's not get into that. I'm done with those. Let's just get back to this review, I guess. All right. So overall, the game is good. It's a good game to play. It's a good game. It's at the very least worth your time if you want to play it. So jump in, have fun, and remember, play at your own pace. There's a couple videos I have, a video I have about not leveling too fast, just enjoying the process. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna be better off for it. You know what I mean? Just enjoy yourself. So anyway, now that that's covered, yo, jump in. I'm on server 21. You're probably going to be jumping onto server 500 or 800. I mean, the way they're just pumping out these servers right now, I don't know, man. You're probably going to be jumping on server 300 or whatever. Right now, I think it's at 200 and something, right? So eventually you might get merged with us, with me. So, we might get to play together at some point, but it is what it is. Anyway, just jump in, try it out. It's a pretty fun game. And just take it easy, guys. That's it for the review, I guess, the unofficial review, or rather the informal review, let's put it that way. The informal review, the post review from a player who's actually played the game. Anyway, all right, peace out, people. It's been good. Thanks for watching, and guys, hope to see you on the next one. Oh, and yeah, side note, Naruto Online has one of the best communities I've ever freaking seen in my days of playing MMOs. I kid you not. So if you're looking for definitely a community to talk to, to type funny / sometimes inappropriate things to each other, break bread with these people, you know what I mean? Definitely this is one of the communities you want to join. If that's one of your reasons to want to play the game, definitely jump in. If not, I just don't know, man. Anyway, peace out again, people. Check you guys in the next one. And sometimes I run out of ideas on what to make videos on freaking, but I do want to make videos. So if you guys don't mind, and for that one guy who actually watches my video, and I know you know who you are, that one person who actually watches my videos, if you could put down below in the comments, or let me know in game, private message me or something, of a video you might want to watch. You know what I mean? Just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. Just like, just throw it out there. I'll see that, and then if I think that's pretty cool, I'll make a video about it. Well, till then, guys.